One of my guilty pleasures. Well, there's nothing guilty about liking Bleach. Yeah, I said it. Bleach was huge when I was a teenager. Around 15. That's when Bleach was booming. There was nothing but praise for this monumental piece of Japanese fiction. A powerhouse that continues to rack up insane amounts of viewers worldwide.
At least it would if it wasn't cancelled, lol.
Around this time, Bleach Heat the Soul 2 came along. This is where I was introduced to the game series, because this was the first Heat the Soul game, or Bleach game, that I had played. Bleach Heat the Soul 2 got me really invested in Bleach even more. I was watching the show religiously. I even listened to the soundtracks and character CDs on loop. I got caught up in reading all the fan theories on the internet, most of which turned out to be garbage. And this game, Heat the Soul 2, was slap bang in the middle of the whole experience. If I could revisit a year, it would be 2005. What a time to be a goddamn teenager. Heat the Soul 2 story mode is more involved this time, with more playable characters. Playing as the main character Ichigo Kurosaki, or one of his many ridiculous friends, has you battling against the various Soul Reapers who stand in his way on their quest to rescue the weak and useless, feeble, pathetic waifu Rukia Kuchiki. Meanwhile, picking a big bad such as Byakuya or Gin has you attempting to stop Ichigo and his friends from succeeding. While this mode has definitely been elaborated on, the caveat is that it no longer contains the brilliant what-if scenarios from the first game. Heat the Soul 2 is clearly built off the first game and reuses a lot of assets. Not a surprise considering this game came out merely 6 months after the first. At least in these 6 months they managed to upgrade the roster so there are now 12 characters in total rather than 6. From the original game we have Ichigo, Rukia, Orihime, Uryu, Chad and Renji. The new characters are Byakuya, Gin, Kisuke, Toshiro, and hidden unlockable character Yoruichi. Well, there is one other unlockable character, but it's just the basic version of Ichigo that appeared in the first game. This is what we in the industry call a wasted slot. The game's most awful addition, without a doubt, is Gotai 13 mode. This takes upwards of 910 battles to complete, and is a massive unappreciative time sink. Luckily there are passwords you can input to unlock everything, or you could just download a save file. I certainly won't begrudge you for doing this, it's an unloving waste of effort. In fact, I'd probably judge you if you took the time and effort to do it properly. Oh, look at this guy wasting all his time on Gotai 13 mode. Oh, look at him. Yeah, if I'd known about cheat codes back then, I wouldn't have done it all myself, which I did. The unlockable cards continue to be a thing. It now takes 200 cards to unlock Block-On, but with a new stage selection in that mode, the time spent on getting cards is, dare I admit it, justified. Unfortunately, it's still mostly the same guff, the same unlocks, the same art gallery, same sound test and same crap we had in the first game. In one sense, Heat the Soul 2 should have been the first game released, as the content we have here merely patches a few holes in the first game. But then again, if you were a fan of the show, you'd have lapped this all up, no hesitation, like I did. As with the first game, the main obstruction is the story mode. If you've watched the show, you have a rough idea what's happening in the story, so it won't really be an issue. Besides that, a little menu memorization and you're golden, as yet again a large chunk of the game's menus are already in English. Despite how easy it is to pick up and play, I think, again, this is a game for the serious series fans only. All I need to say to fans of the series is, Yoruichi makes her playable debut, and she's overpowered, just like in Bleach GC. That's reason enough to play, right? It's a mostly disappointing retread of the first, but if you were looking for a good polished entry to jump in and try, this is better than starting off at the beginning, but the third entry in this series is even better, and the perfect jumping in point for new players. With almost a whole year between the last entry and this one, the amount of new content is astounding. Heat the Soul 3 has a combined 34 playable characters, a batch of new arenas, and a slew of new modes, including Soul Road and the fan-pleasing Karakura Heroes Mark. Overall, this selection of playable characters is staggering. Everyone from the first 2 games returns, plus a whole bunch more. All of the captains are playable, and a gaggle of their lieutenants enter the fray too. There are some far-out inclusions, such as Nemu Kurotsuchi and Yachiru Kusajishi, who were probably included just because they're fan favourites. Also worth noting is the appearance of Ulquiorra Schiffer as an unlockable character, who was a fresh addition to the story at the time. This huge roster would only expand further as the series continued. With most of the game's core content being the same, it makes sense just to talk about the game's other modes, outside of arcade mode, survival mode, training, etc. This game's gimmicky exclusive mode is Soul Road, and it has you pick a character of choice and a support buddy. The buddy character talks to you at seemingly random intervals, and you answer their questions. Answer correctly and you earn loads of trust points, which can be traded in to unlock new stuff, like more characters, outfits, or support buddies. The support feature is a good idea when implemented in battle, as your partner character can be used to incapacitate your opponent or temporarily recover your health or spirit powers. It's one of the genuine improvements in Heat the Soul 3 that makes the fighting flow even better than before. Next mode I'd like to talk about is Mission Battle, in which various moments from the show are fought out in the palms of your hands. It's this game's story mode. While the missions start as far back as training with Urahara to recover Ichigo Shinigami powers, it goes on about as far as the end of the Rescue arc, providing the largest story mode so far. Of course, it's still only up to the Rescue arc. If you were looking for anything to do with the Arrancar invasion, you're shit out of luck. Each stage in Mission Battle starts with a text briefing, and then an in-game cutscene, followed by a battle. Once the battle is over, you get a full-motion video scene stripped straight from the show. Each battle has a special win condition. For example, Mission 2 will only end when you inflict a final blow with the Getsuga Tensho technique. Mission Battle gets increasingly more difficult, and before long you'll be shedding hair trying to understand the win criteria. My recommendation is to grab a guide that spells it out for you. There are plenty online if you know where to look. While the gallery and cards return, they can now be purchased at the item shop. Instead of having to unlock things through collecting cards, you could just buy the things you want outright with the points you earn. So yeah, besides the other modes like versus CPU, training, there isn't really all that much to this game that isn't in the others. Well, there is one pretty neat secret, and that's the previously aforementioned Karakura Heroes Mark. This is a story-driven bonus mode with its own unique plot and animated cutscenes. It tells an enjoyable what-if story about how Don Kanonji, spirit medium extraordinaire, recruits death gods to help with this television show. This mode is a nice treat for series fans and thoroughly entertaining. You can get through this game and unlock everything with a guide or a bit of trial and error, but with questions and mission criteria in Japanese, not knowing the language will really hinder your likelihood of enjoying the game. This is definitely the entry to start at if you're looking to see what Bleach Heat the Soul is all about. This is before the game was inundated with different soul types, tag combos, and character transformations, and therefore a wonderful place for players new to the series to start. I can recommend any of these Heat the Soul games to PSP collectors without a moment's hesitation, and also to Bleach series fans. Owning any of the first 3 Heat the Soul games is easy considering their low price on the second-hand import market, and the sheer number of copies out there. If you're collecting PSP games, it's a no-brainer. Get the Bleach games. They're fun to collect, and they're fun to play. This has been Sushi Bites. Thanks for watching.
Make